Busy, 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 never ending. So I wanted to have a fire today, but there's wildfires in South Carolina and Asheville. So they have a complete burn ban, I mean. So I couldn't do that today. So what I'm doing is I've thinned out my woods, trying to get the brush out of the woods to where it's not such a fire hazard. A lot of what you're seeing was dead on the ground, and then a lot of it are just small trees that I've cut like this, just to make it to where I could drag the dead stuff out because it's so thick, can't do anything in there. So the woods would I'm just basically taking out a small canopy, like a middle layer, I guess a layer of trees. But of course, leaving the big guys. A lot of these die anyways. A lot of them are suckers. A tree will die and fall over or whatever, and then a tree will come up from a root and they end up dying, and that's pretty much what they do. They get so tall and then they die. So really, me cutting them out like that, it ain't really hurting anything. But yeah, there's my burn pile. There's my beautiful siding I done last summer, my little crawl space area, so I could have a water spigot. So I got a water spigot right there sitting. There's my fire, there's my water spigot. But here's what we're doing, Jack. So this is my trail. Really wishing I had a four-wheeler right now. This would make it a lot easier. I've been using a wheelbarrow, but for years I've been dumping leaves, just pushing them down in on this part of the property, just through here, and been kind of pushing them down here, and I was starting to lose my creek. The little bit of water that comes through here when it rains and snows wasn't enough to keep the leaves clean. So I took all the leaves out, and I've basically been mulching with them throughout the woods. So I'm going to start keeping this creek clean. I'm going to clean up all this. I'm going to do the same thing like I did up there in the woods. I'm going to clean up all this brush, all the small suckers. And once I get it cleaned up, I'll let the leaves fall here and accumulate naturally, but I'm not going to dump them in here like I used to do. I'm going to start using my little trail and dumping my leaves up here further in the woods, because eventually I might make all this mowable, just this side of the creek and over. I might make it to where I can actually grow some grass and stuff, to where, like I said, when this is a creek, it's really pretty, and I'd like to be able to see it, from my property instead of having to just walk to it. But I still, of course, I have all these woods. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot more to go. I got a lot of big stuff I got to pick up, but I'm really worried about the small stuff first, because it's more of a fire hazard, and it rots quicker too. Burns quicker, rots quicker. So try to get all the small stuff up. And I'm also going to try to focus on this side of the trail and over, because I can only do so much. I wanted to burn today, couldn't burn because of the ban. So I don't get a lot of chances really to burn. It's always depending on the weather and whether or not legally I can. But I'll probably get some of the small stuff, but the big stuff, I got to cut it before I drag it out. That'll be firewood for somebody or something. Wish I could burn wood. There's some firewood. So what I basically was doing is I was just coming through and getting the stuff that was scattered around the ground and just making piles. Making piles. This year I just cleared the trail because that tree fell in it. Yeah, you can see, I just got piles. There's one I've been working on. I might have to call it a day. I still about to lose my son. Like this stuff here, I'll leave it. I'm not worried about it. It's no good for firewood, and I don't feel like dragging it out here because it is no good for anything really. I'll just let it rot, decay, go back. Probably the same thing with that one. I'll just leave them be. But that's what we're doing. Here's what my place looks like from up here. Get to a little bit of a high point. Pretty much. Somewhere up here is my property line. Somewhere in that corner. But so yeah, this is me. A little trail that comes up and around. Man, I'd love to have a four-wheeler. I'd be so much more productive. I'd come up here with my little trailer and I'd load it down with wood, I'd probably just kind of like come up through, load it, and just do a little loop-de-loo, you know, make a little loop-de-loo all the way around. Now next winter, or this fall, I'll start working on, this is actually somebody else's property line, but I want to clean it up because it's the same thing, it's kind of a fire hazard. But, and I'll also work on this side of the trail, you know, you only do so much at a time. But this, I love this view. I want to open this view up a little bit, just get rid of some of these limbs. These trees are mine, so I'll just get up here and just cut them up a little bit because I really like that view. In the summertime, this all fills in and I'll just have just like this little window to admire the field. Got some cows back there. Jackie Boo. Honeysuckle. Stuff's thick, boy. Look at that. Who knows? It goes way up those trees. Yeah, I've got a little creek. It runs when it rains and when it snows and when the snow melts. And I'm wanting to clean it up though and make it to where I can see it a little bit better and just enjoy it, that sort of stuff. Plus I don't want it to clog the pipe down there. Another little pile of stuff. I've been thinning all this out. Just come through with my little snips, and if it's small, you know, size of my thumb smaller, I've just been taking it out. And I'm being a little selective. Like there's certain bushes and stuff I like. These things here are really cool. Summertime they're green. I don't know what it is, but in the fall they're really bright red. They're neat. That guy fell. I heard it when he fell. I heard a big crack and a big bang. And ooh, dead squirrel. I need to get that out of the way before Jack finds it. I think they fall out of the tree. That's what happens to them. And then they biff it. So we're going to have to pick it up and fling it over there and then wash our hands. Sorry, Jack. Poor little feller. Yeah, I think they fall out of the trees. What happens? No, sir. Sorry. He wants to roll on it, you know. Let's just get rid of it. Okay, now I gotta go wash my hands. It hasn't been there long because I was just out here yesterday, so it ain't rotten and decayed or nothing like that. I think they get clumsy. I think they fall out of these trees sometimes and don't make it, you know. So this is back my property. That fence is their line over there. People that have the cows. This is the old fence, and then they got a fence over there. That's actually what keeps the cows in. But here's another little spot I burned. I actually leveled this one time. I thought it'd make a cool campsite. My eyeball itches and I can't scratch it. Hold on. Can't scratch it with that hand I picked up the squirrel with. Yeah, I like this little spot. I've cleaned up this so much. This used to be honeysuckle, poison ivy, and thorns that just grew up. It was like a natural wall, but it just got out of hand and got crazy. So I made me a big old whip out of a tree, green tree, and just smacked it down, got down to the ground. And then it was easy to manage like that. I could burn it. Yeah, this is us. All the woods are me. Yeah, we'll walk it. We're running on 9 minutes now, Jack. Here's my little whip I told you I made. It's just a tree, and it's green, so it's about 9 foot long. And I just took it and give all that vine and stuff a good old whack. It was fun. I was kind of feeling overwhelmed. I didn't know how I was gonna get them vines down, and then I thought of that, and it worked really good. New neighbors just moved in, bought that. Yeah, nice little spot. They ain't gotta pick up sticks like me. I burned here too. Had a big fire for about 2 days. I gotta get a different grip on my phone. Grapevine. Jack. Let's go. That's a good dog. That's a good dog right there. Come on. I got a lot to clean up yet. Got some dead stuff here. It's just little old me. And I get the weekend to do it, and sometimes it's raining, and then sometimes, like, I had to work yesterday, and it was just so windy anyways. I'm glad I was able to work and make some money. I couldn't burn. And then today they got to burn for banning because they don't want they can't want to be out here, you know, they don't want to be out here putting my woods out when they catch fire, I guess. But, you know, I have a hose. I always keep a hose out here, but look at all the stuff I got burned. There's my little fire pit that I threw together for now. It ain't gonna really do much. As long as I keep a hose out here and I keep the area wet around it, it will actually burn so far and create a barrier, and then I just gotta keep it wet. Jack, let's go. Boy, nice out here. That's my closest neighbor other than the ones across from me, which nobody's there right now, thank God. It's always a mess. It's like a what do they call that house where like druggies and prostitutes and stuff hang out? Trap house? There you go. It's like been a trap house a couple times. It's not good. It's pretty though, look at that. Beautiful, huh? Here's what our sun looks like in Tennessee. See it? That's a Tennessee sun. I don't know if it's different than the one y'all got in California. Little rock wall I made. I love my big old cedar tree. Jack, let's go, Cracker. Look at him. Come on. Well, I've had you here for 12 minutes. I just want to kind of show you what I've been working on. Well, I did all this too. You might be interested. I actually had a guy grade it and just make it kind of flat. And then I had some rock brought in, and I had to spread that rock out by hand because it was too soft. The bulldozer couldn't drive on it, you know, so I just had to bring it in by hand, and I put all that in by hand, went around my little trees. Yeah, I got me a carport out of the deal. One day I might turn that into a garage or something. But yeah, Dougie did that. Spread out a lot of gravel. Whatever the dump truck couldn't do. Dougie did that and made my little mailbox. Heck yeah. I used to have it over here next to theirs, and caught them checking my mail for me one time, and I told them I didn't need their help with that I could check my own mail. So I ended up just letting them have my post because theirs was falling over. I went out and got me a new post, put it over there. Of course, I checked in my mail, man. I told him what was going on. He said, yeah, buddy. He said, I don't blame you. He's like, you go right ahead. But anywho's, that's it. That's 13 minutes. Figured I'd just make a little bit of video, what I've been into. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing this summer to keep me busy. It's a lot. And I also got some digging and stuff. I have other things I'll do. I got to dig behind the house, but this is what I'm working on at the moment. Jack, don't pee on that. That's mine.